The UFC is headed back to the Middle East. That's right, UFC Fight Night Qatar is coming to you soon this November, in fact, the 22nd. In alignment with the Visit Qatar and Qatar Tourism Board, this will be a milestone event made possible through the strategic partnership between UFC and Visit Qatar. Register your interest now. The UFC is going back to the Middle East once again, where there is no homegrown talent for the UFC. And like some of these comments you may see, the arenas are simply soulless because they don't have the connection with MMA that the people across the rest of the world do. But maybe in time this will grow. Maybe this is the inception of what the UFC needs, what MMA needs to grow in the Middle East. We'll just have to wait and see about that. But here's Dana White inking the new deal, going to Qatar at the end of 2025. Another fight in the Middle East. Let's take a listen. All right, shaking hands, kissing babies, that's Dana White. That's pretty much all he's good for nowadays. But the UFC announces their first event in Qatar on November 22nd, partnership with Visit Qatar. Of course, we see advertisements for that all over the place. The UFC is heading to Qatar for the first time in promotion history on November 22nd. The promotion announced a partnership with Visit Qatar on Wednesday, which includes a UFC Fight Night inside Abha Arena in Doha, Qatar. We're going everywhere, said UFC CEO Dana White, telling reporters in New York City. We've been to Abu Dhabi for a long time. We're starting to move around Qatar, something we've been working on for a couple of years now, and we're finally getting something done. The UFC has been a staple in Abu Dhabi for a long time, and I think they've looked at Abu Dhabi and seen the success they've had there and the Saudi Arabia and Azerbaijan card recently. I've been wanting to go to Qatar for a long time, and I'm looking forward to it. While there were rumors that the promotion was eyeing a UFC event in Qatar on May 17th, the event instead took place in the UFC Apex in Las Vegas. Now, 6 months later, Doha fans finally get to witness their first event. This collaboration marks a significant step that reflects our continued commitment to positioning Qatar as a leading global destination for major sporting events. CEO of Visit Qatar, Ing Abdulaziz Ali Al-Mawari. The event forms part of a vibrant season of major activities supported by the ongoing infrastructure development and notable growth in the events and conferences sector. The inclusion of the UFC with its fan base of over 700 million people worldwide underscores this strategic direction and offers unique platforms to showcase Qatar's sporting excellence and cultural richness. We look forward to welcoming the UFC community and visitors from all around the world to Doha this November for an exceptional experience that highlights our capabilities and strengthens our international partnerships. Very, very interesting. Going back to the Middle East, like I mentioned, for another stacked fight night card. Of course, Israel Adesanya versus Imavov kind of kicked off the year out there in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Then we moved on, and the next one was Khalil Roundtree in Azerbaijan a few weeks ago. That one was an exciting one, a stacked ABC fight night card. The next one, Whitaker versus DeRitter, which many are heralding as one of the greatest fight nights of all time, one of the most stacked fight nights ever. That one's taking place in Yas Island in Abu Dhabi, And then, of course, they're going back to Abu Dhabi, Yas Island again for UFC 321, which is likely to be one of the biggest and most stacked fight nights, aka a big-time pay-per-view out there in Abu Dhabi. So what do you guys think about this news? Very interesting stuff here. Qatar, the next stop on the list in the Middle East for the UFC. When are they going to have a fight night? Western Europe, fight night, Eastern Europe. Anything interesting outside of the Middle East would be fun to have, but let me know what you guys think about this one in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time.